Well, I've been wanting to fight, I feel as if that's a legacy fight. I feel as if, this is the biggest fight in boxing uh, today. I feel like this fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. We both come.
The type of fight Terence Crawford is fighter is
The most surprising news for boxing fans is that the highly anticipated battle between multiple world championship holders Canelo Alvarez and undisputed champion Terence Crawford has been officially finalized.
What do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean,
$100 million. I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
150.
150?
Canelo Alvarez is regarded as the most costly boxer of the current century, but his demands have been met, according to Saudi boxing chief His Excellency Turki Alalshik, who has stated a desire to host the North American Super Fight in 2025.
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that favor Canelo is that, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't.
In preparation of a potential mega fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, boxing star Edgar Berlanga made a prediction, appreciating the immense skill both fighters bring to the table. Berlanga stressed the difficulty of forecasting such a bout. However, they eventually chose Canelo because of his stature and experience in a higher weight class. Berlanga said, "It's difficult to call, but if I had to choose, I'd go with Canelo. He's fought bigger guys, and his power is different at 168, but I think Canelo's height and strength will wear him down over 12 rounds. But will have his moments, but I believe Canelo will win a close fight. It will surely be competitive, but Canelo's expertise at a higher weight may be the difference." Edgar Berlanga thinks that while Terence Crawford will have his chances, Canelo Alvarez's size, power, and expertise at 168 pounds will give him an advantage in a close, contested bout. He thinks Canelo will win by decision, with his strength wearing Crawford down over the course of the 12 rounds.
Canelo's just naturally too strong. I don't see Terence Crawford going to 168, and I don't see Terence Crawford having the leverage to make Canelo come down and make him in the catch weight. I think Canelo got all leverage, so all the advantages to Canelo.
Meanwhile, boxing trainer Johnny Ortiz thinks the match will be helpful to Canelo Alvarez. Ortiz views Canelo's experience in higher weight classes, especially his strength at 168 pounds, as a huge benefit. He is likely to see Canelo's ability to handle bigger opponents and his well-rounded skill set as important aspects that will make it difficult for Crawford, despite Crawford's technical knowledge.
Say no, that's two more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's gonna be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's gonna slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a legend.
Sean Porter, an American professional boxer, also stated that stepping up in weight classes, especially against someone as powerful as Canelo, raises concerns about a fighter's stamina. Porter also warned Canelo that his punching power might not be enough to defeat Crawford if he did not handle the fight appropriately. However, another former professional boxer, Daniel Jacobs, expresses concern about the Crawford versus Canelo fight, believing it will be a stern test for Crawford, who has expressed a desire to move all the way up to 168 pounds to fight Canelo. Alvarez, Jacobs, who lost to Canelo by majority decision in May 2019, is giving Crawford a chance against Alvarez if the super fight happens. Jacobs' newly announced abilities can occasionally pay the bills, and we know for certain that Crawford has the edge over Canelo. It's just that sometimes power, weight, and experience come into play, so it'll be a big test for Crawford, but I think the fans win that fight. Daniel Jacobs thinks Terence Crawford has superior boxing skills compared to Canelo Alvarez, which could give him a competitive edge in a possible matchup. However, he warns that Canelo's power, weight, and experience will all play a role, making it a difficult test for Crawford. However, in the end, the fans won.
What I have to say to Canelo is this. You proved yourself already. You proved yourself. You fought a lot of great fighters. You tested yourself. You went up in weight to numerous weight classes. Like myself and like
Canelo gave his best performance in a long time, and his dominance impressed many in the boxing world, including famous boxer Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather noticed Canelo's skill and performance. Canelo Alvarez made an incredible showing in his most recent fights, proving himself to be a tremendous fighter. Floyd Mayweather Jr. compared the Crawford-Canelo fight to a chess match. He also stresses the tactical acumen that both combatants bring to the arena. Canelo has strength, but Crawford is more clever. This is a chess match, not merely a race to see who can hit the hardest. I've been in there with Canelo and seen Crawford's skill set. This will be a fight of adaptations. This would be a crossover fight between two of the sport's most elite athletes, each bringing their own distinct approach to the ring. The clash would surely get a lot of attention, not just because of their respective histories, but also because of the stark difference between Canelo's powerful, methodical approach and Crawford's slick, adaptive fighting style.
As I tell before to the ESPN, I give him the offer. If he is smart, he will accept it.
Following Turki Alalshik's statement, many boxing fans are looking forward to seeing both fighters in the ring. This would be viewed as a contest for ultimate supremacy, transcending weight divisions.
Faced off with you, he looked big, and a lot of people
Bigger than me.
yeah, because a lot of people said, "Oh, he's a smaller guy," but he's bigger than you.
147, 154, everybody's bigger than me. I'm a small fighter. But I'm cabron.
Canelo Alvarez stated, "I'm small, but I'm a brawn." He expresses faith that his expertise, strength, and fighting spirit can overcome any size disadvantage against opponents. He referred to him as a cabron, giving a clear message to Crawford that he should be conscious of his strength and confidence. Canelo says that his ability in the ring much exceed concerns about his size. Turki Alalshik is staging this bout as part of a Riyadh season card meant to promote future events in Saudi Arabia.
What does Terence Crawford have to do to be effective against Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds?
What you have to do, he would have to be active in box, make Canelo miss, and just do feints and give him, I guess, different angles is the best bet. Besides that, I don't know. I think he's probably a little bit more fluent because Canelo be flat-footed at times, but I think Canelo gonna walk him down.
Johnny Ortiz is confident that Terence Crawford can defeat Canelo Alvarez by using his exceptional boxing skills and adaptability. Despite Canelo's power and expertise in the ring, Ortiz sees this potential bout as an electric confrontation of contrasting styles, and Crawford should seize any chance to hit Canelo in order to easily win the fight. Canelo has been stripped of his IBF belt and is no longer the undisputed winner, but he remains the WBA, WBC, and WBO king. If both he and Crawford are victorious, an offer will be made to bridge the 14-pound weight gap and get them in the ring together. Turki Alalshik added, "I will offer Canelo what I believe is a fair price. If he accepts, he will deal directly with me to complete the transaction. I do not want anyone in the middle. I promised Crawford a huge fight. I want Canelo for Crawford, and Crawford wants Canelo, but if Canelo's financial demands are unreasonable, I will still promise Crawford any fight he wishes." Canelo has demanded $150 million to fight Crawford, and because Alalshik wants to promote boxing in Saudi Arabia, he is ready to spend the money to make this fight happen. Crawford has been pursuing a fight with Canelo for the past year, trying to make an unprecedented jump up and weight to super middleweight. Between December 2020 and November 2021, Canelo swept through the 168 PBS division, beating all three unbeaten world champions in just 11 months to become the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO champion.
I believe in my guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that he has all the attributes to be successful. Man, I think it's just I just think that he has the ability to be great, man. You know what I mean? And I think that it'd be a good chance, a good opportunity to show who he really is as a fighter. I mean, he's used to fighting bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's used to fighting bigger guys.
According to boxing commentator Derek James, Crawford now has the chance to demonstrate his fighting prowess. James also expressed confidence in Terence Crawford's ability to face Canelo Alvarez, thinking that despite Canelo's enormous power and experience, Crawford might give him a tough time. Canelo Alvarez just defeated Edgar Berlanga by a clear, unanimous decision to keep all of his super middleweight world belts, and he said that he will rest for the rest of the year. Terence Crawford and Turki Alalshik, the promoter behind the intended match, have sent challenges to Canelo Alvarez, the most recent on the night of the Mexicans win against Berlanga. Canelo, who previously stated that he would fight Crawford for $150 million, confirmed that he would return in May 2025. Canelo stated in a press conference following his fight with Berlanga, "Right now I'm going to rest. I have nothing in mind. After that, I'll talk with Eddie Rosso, Olhayan, and Luis Dudas Jr. to see what's coming up, but there's nothing we can announce right now. We will see what happens in May." According to sources, Saul Alvarez is very likely to take the fight against Crawford in May. According to journalist Sean Zittel on the Porterway podcast, he stated on X, "I shared things I gather and heard during the past fight week from those close to the information that I didn't hear it was confirmed, which is why I suggested a very real possibility." Terence Crawford has spent a lot of time waiting, especially for a fight with Israel Madrimov. Alalshik offers to make sure Crawford does not have to wait much longer. Alalshik told ESPN that no one created a solid fight for him. "When you hit this point of age and glory, you choose your fights. If they give you the right money and fighters, you will accept it. Nobody gave him that in the last 4 years, which I think is a tragedy because we lost 4 years of one of the best boxing stars we've seen in the last 20 years. Terence Crawford will lead the first Riyadh season boxing event outside Saudi Arabia, marking his comeback to the ring. Turki Alalshik highlights that Crawford has not had the ideal matches or financial incentives in the last 4 years, resulting in missed chances for one of boxing's best talents.
It's one thing, I wouldn't think that Canelo watched Crawford on Saturday and was afraid of fighting him at 68. I think for Canelo it's more about the credibility he gets through victory. I think he's a little bit concerned, having spoke to him in the past, that if he beats a guy that's coming up from 147 to 168, is he really going to get the respect for that? So we'll see. Money talks. If it's the right deal, he'll always take the fight.
Meanwhile, promoter Eddie Hearn said Canelo would fight Crawford to show his credibility and power. Hearn recently stated that Canelo Alvarez is not terrified of a hypothetical bout versus Terence Crawford. While Canelo admires Crawford's skills, he also considers the two fighters' substantial weight differences, Eddie Hearn told the reporters. "Crawford demands so much money that you have to wait for the golden ticket to come around the carousel, which is a problem for a lot of these top fighters. They make so much money that they can only fight once a year." Eddie Hearn brought out a fundamental issue in boxing, pointing out that fighters like Terence Crawford frequently seek large purses, complicating fight scheduling. This financial expectation may result in fewer battles per year, as these elite fighters may prefer to wait for profitable opportunities rather than engage in more regular matches. He went on to say, "That will eventually catch up with him, but you never know, you suddenly look rusty. Maybe you get a little old, maybe you go up one level to high, but he's a good fighter. In my view, it is the best pound-for-pound option." He stated that, while Crawford is definitely a quality fighter and, in his opinion, the pound-for-pound number one, the delays and risks of going up in weight could result in issues such as ring rust or age affecting. Sean Porter, the two-time former welterweight champion, recently shared his thoughts on Crawford's most exciting fight and highlighted some of the best fighters to watch today. He emphasized the excitement surrounding talents such as Terence Crawford, who he says displays great skill and adaptability in the ring. Porter also admitted a growing conspiracy about possible matchups that may boost the sport even further. Terence Crawford is a must-watch. He's nearing the end of his career, and I just feel like, the way he has been able to perform and remain consistent like that. Jermall Charlo was the undisputed champion at 154 pounds and was ringside to support Spence, his then training partner, and as the referee waved off the bout, Crawford made sure to deliver a steely glare through the ropes. However, 2 months later, Chari was prepared for the rematch. I'm not sure if Spence was willing to do the rematch as the contract stated. It didn't happen. It cost me months of my job, and I'm simply glad to be back in the ring to showcase my abilities. My skill is still there. Crawford had other appealing fights at 154. Enes Timchu, Virgil Ortiz. All three combatants are big, powerful punchers, and each was undefeated at the time. Crawford had chosen to continue his campaign at junior middleweight after the weight cut for the Spence fight was significantly more difficult than normal. Crawford already knew it was his last at 147 pounds, Crawford said. And I was like, man, this is it. I can't make that weight anymore. It was kind of tough. The undisputed light heavyweight championship fight between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol on October 12th, as well as the heavyweight championship rematch between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury on December 21st, have been planned. The biggest fight of all, however, is one between Canelo and Crawford, an event that would undoubtedly surpass the hallowed mark of 1 million pay-per-view purchases and guarantee Crawford the largest payday of his career, and one that Alalshik wishes to stage in the United States, where it makes the most commercial sense. Alalshik stated, "I will offer Canelo what I believe is a fair price. If he accepts, he will deal directly with me to complete the transaction. I do not want anyone in the middle. I promised Crawford a huge fight. I want Canelo for Crawford, and Crawford wants Canelo, but even if Canelo's financial demands are insane, I will still guarantee Crawford any fight he wants, whether or not Alalshik promises that Crawford will never go without a fight again, as it appears the two will collaborate for the rest of his career."
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement.
In another news conference, Alalshik expressed his desire to match Crawford with Virgil Ortiz. He also named Chu as the next opponent for Crawford, an Australian star and the son of Hall of Fame boxer Kosa Chu. If a Canelo bout cannot be made, Chu is an all-action fighter who suffered a loss under difficult conditions. Chu lost a split decision to Sebastian Fundora in a March title battle after suffering a severe cut on his forehead early in the fight. Crawford asked, "Why am I the perfect guy for Alalshik's first American fight?" As blood ran freely into his eyes and his vision was impaired for the rest of the match. Obviously, he notices something in me that he does not see in other fighters. He saw me as one of America's top fighters, as he should. I am currently the #1 boxer in the world. Thus Turkey and I have a lot of respect for each other. Crawford faces pressure to win convincingly for a number of reasons. None more so than the possibility of a Canelo clash. Crawford has titles at 135, 140, and 147 pounds, while Alvarez, ESPN's #5 pound-for-pound boxer, is the top fighter at 168 pounds. He has titles at 154, 160, and 175.5 pounds. Alvarez asks for a fight with Crawford in February, telling the public that he has nothing to gain and everything to lose. "If I beat him, everyone would say he was too small." Crawford can't prove in 154 pounds fight that he can hang with Alvarez to weight classes above, but a stoppage victory in his junior middleweight debut to extend his 11 knockout winning streak would go a long way towards solidifying his power at a higher weight and raising his image. Kern warned that Crawford's considerable weight gain might have serious ramifications, possibly jeopardizing his future. He underlined that, while Crawford is an experienced fighter, Canelo's physicality and power in the ring at this weight class might prove intimidating. Crawford being outmatched by Canelo would not stop Turkey from pursuing the fight. However, if Canelo outperforms Crawford, supporters will be outraged and feel ripped off. Turkey, the guy who put the match together, knows Crawford has no chance against Canelo. Does it make sense for him to withdraw from trying to make the fight? Terence Crawford stated, "That was my motivation." Crawford claimed that his motivation was to get the Canelo bout following his fight with Madrimov, but went on to say, "It's crazy. And it makes me laugh with what Canelo is saying in the media about not getting any credit, but Canelo has been fighting smaller guys his entire career, as Crawford.
A lot of rumors about Turkey Al-Sheikh wanting to make Crawford versus Canelo.
Make it.
You want it?
Make it.
You think you should do it?
Make it. Make the fight.
Tell me about it.
Man, look, man. Crawford ain't no damn. Look, just put it this way. Crawford ain't no damn Charlo. Different mindset, different skill set. This dude is serious.
ESPN analyst Tim Bradley thinks Crawford is serious and capable of defeating Canelo. Bradley is excited to see whether Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. Bradley stated his excitement about the likely showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, underlining the mystery of whether Crawford can overcome Canelo's challenge. However, I believe in Crawford. Man, he's unique. Terence Crawford overcomes critics who criticize his size in comparison to Canelo Alvarez. Tim Bradley is a staunch Crawford booster. He believes in Crawford's abilities and adaptability, saying that the fight should proceed without additional delay. Andre Ward, a boxing analyst, has frequently praised Terence Crawford's ability to adapt during a fight. Crawford, he said, can switch stances and fight on the inside or outside. Canelo's pressure will put it to the test, but Bud is the type of person who can change and work things out. This contest will be about who makes the proper changes when it counts the most. Ward stressed that, while Canelo Alvarez's unrelenting pressure will be a huge obstacle, Crawford's ability to make important adjustments may be critical to his success in the fight. As the highly awaited bout between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford approaches, fans are buzzing with anticipation for what promises to be a historic confrontation in boxing. With both fighters bringing unique skills to the ring, the prospective fight is expected to excite people worldwide. This fight is about more than just titles. It's about legacy, skill, and showing who is truly the best in the sport. So, what are your expectations for this fight? Will it end with a knockout or go the distance? How do you think this bout will affect the legacies of both fighters? Share your views in the comments area.